Hey guys, how's it going? Yuri came here. Welcome to another episode of Ask Yuri live here on the Facebook feed. So as we normally do, we're going to start with our cool intro.
Trouble losing weight, need more energy, want to improve your health? You got a fitness or nutrition question? I probably have an answer for you.
And there you have it. All right, so we are back. So it's just a couple days before Christmas. Hope your Christmas shopping is done, or whatever you're celebrating. I can't even remember the name of the other holidays, but whatever it is you're celebrating, hopefully everything is good to go. Hopefully you've got everything organized and you're not scrambling last second like I have tended to do in the past, because I am the king of procrastination, but that's a little bit different this year. So anyways, you can tell I'm a little bit sinusy. I've got some sinus stuff going on. I blame it on my kids, because our youngest son, Arlo, comes into our bed at like 5 in the morning. And then he like rolls over and either his like dirty diapers in my face, or he coughs right in my ear and just spews all of his whatever is going on in his system. So yeah, so I got a bit of a sinus thing going on, but no big deal. It's all good. Just, some yucky stuff coming out of my nose, but that's about it. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit better than I am. But anyways, here we are, Ask Yuri Live. We are here to, or I am here, I should say, there's really no one around me, to answer your questions with respect to health, fitness, or nutrition. So if you're joining me live, let me know in the comments where you are at. And by all means, let's just get right into this and start posting your questions. While I'm waiting, I do want to make a cool announcement that this bad boy, the All Day Fat Burning Cookbook, is now officially in stores. It just came out yesterday. So it's a beautiful cookbook. I think I've mentioned this to you guys already in a previous Ask Yuri Hangouts. And what's going on, Kathy from Utah? Good to see you here. And so this 125 fat burning recipes, but they're more than that. For me, it's really 125 gourmet meals that take little to no time to make, that actually help your body burn fat, because of the fact that they're based on real foods, and there's no deprivation, no calorie counting, none of that stuff that just like messes up your body. So you have to actually enjoy food, indulge, guilt-free, shame-free, and it's allergen-free, low in sugar. They take less than 20 minutes to prepare. And I'm actually most excited for myself, to be honest. I actually have a tangible cookbook that I'm super proud of, that I can just keep on my counter, and we can make this stuff on a day-to-day basis. So I'm just going to post, or I'll show you guys some of the pictures. We're actually going to be doing some cool stuff on Facebook. We're going to be posting a recipe per day on the Facebook feed. You may have seen today's image already. So if you want to go along and make the recipes with us, so when we post a recipe, make the damn thing. Try it out, enjoy it. Let us know how you feel about it. And yeah, anyways, so I'm gonna post a link for you guys. In the chat here. And then when I do that, we'll get right into this. So again, just make sure your questions, you've got them all lined up so we can alldayfatburningcookbook.com. All right, there it is. alldayfatburningcookbook.com is the place to go. And then from there, you can go and get it from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, all those other places, as well as your local bookstore. Yeah, all right. So welcome, Holly from Kentucky. Welcome. Okay, so you guys have a question? Because if you don't, I'm just going to sit here and smile. Or actually, I'm standing. I'm not actually sitting. So, while we're talking, I'm going to ask you guys for some advice. So what is your number one remedy, a natural remedy obviously, for sinus stuff like this, right? Stuffy nasal stuff, stuffy sinus stuff. So I'm drinking my usual mason jar of urine, apple cider vinegar and water. And this is awesome to use for really anything, sinus stuff or anything else. Obviously using the neti pot with salt water. So if you have anything else, let me know. I'll definitely try it out. So, all right. Kathy, is a high raw diet the best for healing autoimmune diseases and chronic fatigue syndrome? I don't know. That's going to be really anecdotal. I wish I could give you a straight yes answer or a straight no answer, but it's really tough. It really depends on the individual. Depends on what types of foods your body deals with best. You could be eating a high raw diet and be eating tons of foods that your body is sensitive to. Right? So for instance, lots of tomatoes, some people might have issues with nightshades. So that could be the issue in that specific case. So really, you just really have to be your own detective. And I wish I could give you a more simple answer than that, or a more clear kind of answer than that. But unfortunately with nutrition, sometimes it's not as clear cut as we'd like it to be. So you just have to kind of try things out, see what's going to work best for you. And I mean, you're going to feel the best eating more raw foods, right? Whether or not you have to be 100% raw or not, I don't really think so. But you really want to figure out what's going to work best for you, right? So if you want to go full raw and that works for you, awesome. And just kind of see over the course of a couple of weeks how your body responds. I mean, I know that when I was raw vegan for a couple of months, more than a decade ago now, I felt pretty euphoric for quite some time. So again, but it really depends on where you're at and what you want to fit into your lifestyle. So yeah, hopefully that helps you out. All right, so Kelly, what's going on? Hey, Yuri, are there any half marathon training programs you would recommend for newbies? Oh, how funny, you should ask that. So we actually have an amazing series of running workouts called the Treadmill Trainer. And we actually just haven't even mentioned anything to our own audience because our own audience seems to be a bit older and not really active, which kind of concerns me a little bit. So I'm going to just give you the direct link to this awesome program. And actually this entire site is a little bit ghetto, but it needs to be updated at some point. Again, but it just hasn't been a major focus of ours, but these workouts are incredible. So these are all, we've got workouts for beginners, half marathon. I mean, like literally everything from I've never run down the block in my life. So just kind of like jog, walk type of stuff. And then really building you up into, half marathon or 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon distances, all based on interval training and all with me on your headphones. So the half marathon training package, what I would recommend is obviously we sell the training program, the schedule itself as its own thing. But what I'd recommend is grabbing probably for you the half marathon beginner package, which includes the training schedule itself, plus the 3 of the follow-along workouts. So we got Treadmill Trainer Volume 3, 4, and 5 in there. So those are a little bit longer in terms of duration, but they're still based on intervals. So, a minute on, 2 minutes off type of stuff, and it's awesome. So you got me on your headphones that without the nasal congestion and some really cool music in the background. So these are, I've put these together a couple years ago, but for me, it's like these workouts are so good, and it kind of like pains me that we haven't done much with them because, it's just, there's so many things, there's only so many things you can focus on in anything. And this is just a website that is a little bit outdated, but the workouts are amazing. Everything still works, so don't worry about that. And it's a terrific program. So that's what I would recommend. And the reason we put it together was because I'm a huge believer that less is more. And most training programs out there, if you're running a half or full marathon, are like, hey, let's run 5 or 7 days a week and kill your body in the process. These workouts are going to help you train for a half marathon in literally 2 to 4 workouts per week. So it's, you're going to save your body, you're going to save your joints, and you're going to have a lot more fun because you've got a coach on your headphones each step of the way. So there you go, Kelly. Hopefully that helps you out. Yeah, awesome. All right, so with that said, actually, let me ask you guys a question. Okay, here's another question first. So this is from Michael, Sean, James, Darlington West. What's going on, my man? Any tips on building a training program for a mountain biker? The races are 20 to 40 miles in length. What strength exercises are essential? How many miles a week should I be doing, etc.? So funny you should ask that as well, because we actually have, I feel like I'm one of those guys who's just like, hey, look at my code, exactly what you're looking for. All right, so this is another one of our domains, and here we are, Michael. Thank you, Holly. Thank you very much for getting the cookbook. It's awesome. Like, I'm really super pumped about how it turned out. Okay, so Michael, I'm just gonna post a link in here. This is for our best cycling workouts. So bestcyclingworkouts.com. Again, these are follow-along cycling workouts for the stationary bikes. Okay, so this is gonna be maybe a little bit different. It depends on where you are. If you're training inside or outside, these workouts are most suited for indoor biking. So if you're on a spin bike, a recumbent bike, stationary bike where you can adjust the resistance and speed, these workouts, I'm on your headphones showing you when to speed up, when to slow down, what intensity to go at, what resistance to work at. Because a lot of times when people are training, especially on the elliptical or the bike, they increase their speed, but the flywheel takes over the work because they haven't increased the resistance accordingly. So I've basically taken out all the thinking of the workouts, and we've got we've got two different workouts: cycling workout 1 and cycling workout 2. And yeah, the first one, actually both of them are awesome, but the first one we call it a tour de force because this is a real good hill challenge type of workout, and you can see the actual workout structure if you click on the little picture on that page there. But it's really, really cool because, unless you're obviously the most beneficial thing would be to actually mountain bike on the course you are mountain biking to train for, right? So that's gonna be the most specific. But if you're forced to go indoors, these workouts are awesome. And if you're doing strength training exercises, what I'd recommend are look at any type of movement you're doing. This is what I love to do. This is one of the things that I miss about actually working with athletes in person is when you look at a movement, right? You look at a sport, you look at what are the biomechanical components, what are the movement components, right? What are the angles of the joints? What are the muscles involved? And then you look at how do I match an exercise for that? And the second thing you want to look at are what are the energy demands of that sport? So for instance, with mountain biking, I guess it's going to depend on the terrain, right? It's going to depend on the incline. It's going to be dependent upon, is there a lot of mud? So you're going to have to really work through that a lot more challenging than if it was dry and, a little bit more hard. So with that said, the energetic component is mostly going to be aerobic, right? Which means that you can provide enough energy for the activity just by oxygen and normal breathing. You're going to be huffing and puffing and so forth, but you might get into periods where you're going uphill, it becomes treacherous, and that starts to get into the anaerobic side, which is really the lactic acid production where your legs are burning, and that's where these workouts are going to help you out. So the two cycling workouts that I just posted a link for, those two workouts are going to make a big difference on the energetic side of things. They're also going to help strengthen your legs because we use a lot of resistance in certain of those intervals to help you get ready for a lot of those hills and different terrains. Now, from a strength training side of perspective, you want to be looking at exercises that are going to mimic the motion of cycling, right? So doing squats and deadlifts are going to have very minimal transfer to biking, right? Because when are you doing a squat on the bike? You're not. You're doing unilateral, right? Hip extension and hip and knee extension and flexion. So you want to be using exercises that are similar to that. So a couple exercises that come to mind would be step ups, right? Are probably the most applicable exercise for cyclists. And you want to be stepping up at an angle where your thigh is going to be at an angle that you would see on the bike, right? So probably thigh parallel to the ground, stepping right up and then back down. So I wouldn't suggest using that as the energetic kind of conditioning side of things, but really using heavy weights to build the strength in those muscles. So you could do step ups. I think lunges are a little bit less, again, similar movement, but a little bit less specific than a step up, but still very, very good. So I would say step ups for sure. Lunge walks or lunges are great as well. And then you also want to be looking at doing some really good core exercises because you're hunched over, you're going to be using your upper body, right, to really kind of pull those handlebars and move them around. And that energy is going to be transferred through your core to your legs and vice versa. So make sure your core is nice and strong, and you can do things like planks, side planks on a stability ball where you're kind of rocking your elbows or forearms back and forth while your body is stable. That's all going to help mimic that type of motion on the bike. So think about what am I going to go through on the bike and how do I create exercises or just do exercises that are somewhat similar to that motion, to that activity. So there you go. Hopefully it helps out. All right. Joni, do you have any stretches or exercises for hip sciatica? I work from home and sit most of the day. Oh my goodness. I mean, your questions today, guys, are like bang on amazing. So I'm going to see if our blog is still acting up or not. I know that we've been having an issue on our blog, so some of the stuff isn't showing up, but I believe it seems to be okay. So literally one of the newest posts we have is how to relieve sciatic nerve pain, right? So talk about perfect. And so Joni, thank you for asking. I'm going to post that link right here. How to relieve a sciatic nerve pain. So these exercises are, very applicable for more so on the sciatic side. The one exercise, I'm actually going to shoot a video for this because this stretch is so good that I can't talk about it. It's so odd and not like you would never think of doing this that I can't even explain it. So I need to show you this, and I'm going to shoot a video for you guys at some point in the near future because it's such an effective exercise. And for me, I think I mentioned that I tweaked my back doing deadlifts like 2 months ago now, 3 months ago now, and it's never really been the same, right? And I wasn't even doing heavy. I was just kind of warming up. Gone to the chiro. It's just quick fix, but it comes back a couple hours later. So for me, started doing this stretch, literally like a week ago, and I was like instantly hitting in that spot, like the piriformis muscle, a lot of those like glute medius, glute maximus attaching at the SI joint, and oh my goodness, the relief has been incredible. But anyways, not to leave you in suspense, but I will create a video for you coming at some point in the very near future about that. Maybe this week, because I'm doing it every single day, so I just need someone to hold the camera. But in the meantime, check out this post because the post is great. It's got 9 awesome exercises that are going to be super valuable, and especially if you're sitting all day, right, you're literally sitting on the sciatic nerve, okay? And especially if you've got a tight piriformis, which is a muscle that runs in the pelvis, and it literally kind of, so if this is your sciatic nerve, okay, the piriformis a lot of times can it kind of runs through the muscle. So it's kind of like a weird scissoring action in some cases. And that muscle kind of entrapment on top can lead to like just a really shitty feeling. So I feel your pain because you just really don't want to do anything. So yeah, check that out. Awesome stuff. Hey Lupe, how's it going? Amog, how's it going as well? You asked me to do more live hangouts. Well, here we go, right? So this is actually our weekly live hangout, our Ask Yuri live session. And this is being recorded. So if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel, right? Because I'm doing these every single Wednesday. You don't want to miss out. And join us over on Facebook if you're not here already. The link for that should be below. And today we're talking about how to answering your health, fitness, nutrition questions. I'm just going to have a little sip of the apple cider vinegar water. So good. All right. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying this, remember to share it with your friends on Facebook. Because by you sharing, we help more people. And that's always appreciated because I'm on a mission to help a lot of people on this planet. And I can't do that alone. So you telling your friends, you sharing this with somebody who has sciatic pain, tight bum, whatever it is we're talking about, share it with them. And it definitely, spread the love. Okay, so let's talk about some Christmas tips here, some holiday eating tips while I'm waiting for a question from you guys. And so one of the things I'm not going to say don't eat the turkey, don't have the pumpkin pie, like enjoy it, just enjoy the holidays, whatever, who cares, right? Just have fun. A couple things you want to consider is if you're going to be eating that type of food, you definitely want to be supplementing with a digestive enzyme. Okay, a digestive enzyme is going to help your body just kind of break everything down because otherwise your body's going to have to go through a lot of energy to digest that food. And we all know how energetic we feel after Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner, right? So use a digestive enzyme before, during, and after your meal. That'll definitely help out. Take a probiotic on an empty stomach in the morning and at night, right? That's going to get some good bacteria right into the gut, and it's going to help to work on any of the remnants of material after food has been digested. And that's important because if you're eating, a little more chocolate, a little more sugar than normal, you're going to be feeding a lot of bad bacteria with that stuff. And I'll be the first one to admit, we've had 2 dinner parties at my house the last 2 weeks, and then we're hosting Christmas at our house. So it's like 3 Saturdays in a row we've had like these epic dinners, and it's been pretty awesome, right? The food's been incredible. I'm not saying we're eating garbage, but you're obviously indulging in more chocolates and stuff like that. And honestly, I enjoy the season. I'm gonna enjoy it. It's all good. Whatever you're eating, enjoy it. Right? Don't feel guilty about it. Don't shame yourself into thinking, oh my God, this is not good enough. I'm gonna get fat, blah blah blah, because that just doesn't help. Really try to avoid the cardio confessional where it's like you had this a little bit more food than normal, and then the next thing you kind of punish yourself on the cardio machine trying to burn all those calories off. It's just not a healthy relationship to have with your body, with food. It's just not good. Exercise because you enjoy exercising. Exercise because it makes you feel good. Exercise because it's going to strengthen your body and your bones, and it's all that good stuff. Don't exercise because you're making up for some bad thing you did the day before. Okay, that's just not a really healthy relationship of doing things. Oh man, what are my thoughts on the MLS final? I was kind of disappointed. Obviously, I wasn't at the game because we were hosting a dinner party, but I was obviously wanting TFC to win. I believe, far outplayed Seattle. They were much more aggressive. They had more chances. And I mean, it's kind of poetic justice that Stephen Fry, who actually was the goalkeeper for TFC for 5 years, made that unbelievable save on Altidore's header in extra time, which is like, as a former goalie myself, I'm just that's like, it's like unbelievable what he did at that moment to win the game literally for them. Penalty shots, I love penalty shots. As when I was playing, I actually lost. I probably only, like when I was playing at the highest level, I probably only lost 2 shootouts in my entire life. So I always had this really cool way of, just kind of knowing where people are going to go or kind of psyching them out. So I like winning on penalty shots, but losing on penalty shots really sucks. It's the worst way to lose, but it's a fun way to win. And so it's kind of hard to see a team that just plays so defensively just win. And it's the same thing with Portugal in the Euro Cup, right? Portugal, I don't know, like, they've got all these great players, and historically in the past couple of years, they played more aggressive attacking soccer. And this Euro, they just sat back and defended and relied on, 1 or 2 moments to sneak a goal. And that's exactly what they did against France, right? They had that, the guy receives the ball off the throw and turns and scores in extra time, and they win it on that one shot. And it's frustrating to watch that kind of soccer because I don't personally like that. I like, again, I'm more of a risk taker in general. So as an entrepreneur, I'm willing to take risks and go after things. And I've, even when I was coaching at U of T, not that I was the head coach, but I always had this like, a slight difference in opinion as to how we should play certain teams, because I really believe the best defense is a great offense. And that's just my philosophy. And that's why, sports are so great, because every coach has a different philosophy, and, how you organize your team and how you strategize your games is very different from another coach. So yeah, so I thought it was an okay game. I thought the game prior to that, the game against the Montreal Impact in Toronto, that one was one of the best games I've ever been to. I was actually in the stadium. It was like just an unbelievable feeling to be in that moment, and just the game, the back and forth was incredible. So yeah, thanks for the question. I'm just gonna wipe my notes here. Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah, pretty much. Yeah, totally. Jovinko is a great signing as well for TFC. Hopefully they can keep the team around, because it's it's just a great group of guys. So, and they need the consistency. All right, so now you guys know my feelings about soccer and Toronto FC. So do we have any other questions that I can answer for you guys, health, fitness, or nutrition-wise? I was talking about Christmas, probiotics, digestive enzymes. Another thing you can do is just drink a little bit more apple cider vinegar, because that's actually going to be very, very helpful for preventing and dealing with stuff like this. So this time of year, there's obviously, it's flu season from October to March. Some of the reasons for that is because it's not because it's cold outside. Okay, there's this whole big, myth. Sorry, my nose is a little bit itchy here. This whole myth that we get sick from going in the cold. That is completely nonsense. Being in the cold actually hardens your body against stuff like that, and that's why a lot of the European countries and the Scandinavian, Baltic, Eastern European countries spend so much time in the cold. Put their babies outside in the cold, so like, because there's a lot of benefits from the immune system. And I talk about this in the all-day fat-burning diet. I talk about the benefits of cold thermogenesis, and it's amazingly powerful. So it's not that we're getting cold because it's cold outside. We're getting cold because we're spending so much time indoors, and we're more inclined to contracting something because everything's contained in this small area, and obviously we're not getting as much sunlight as before. So yeah, so just try to do things that are going to keep you healthy. And, apple cider vinegar is very helpful. Probiotics are going to be very helpful as well. Vitamin C or energy greens will definitely help out as well. Excuse me while I just wipe my nose here. I'll come off camera if I can. Yeah, so it's like you're with me in my house here. It's totally chill. All right, so thoughts on rotation diets to discover food intolerances? Yeah, totally. So rotation with food journaling. So basically, a rotation diet, guys, is you're not going to eat the same foods 4 days in a row. So sorry, let me rephrase that. You want to eat different foods on a 4-day cycle. So basically, if you have blueberries today, don't have blueberries for another 4 days. If you have apples today, don't have an apple until 4 days later. If you're having chicken for dinner, don't have chicken until 4 days later. So you're giving your body 4 days to process the food and eliminate it before you reintroduce it again. And that's a really important way, actually just in general, to eat, because even if you're eating healthy foods, if you eat the same food all the time, you can wear down and exhaust the enzymes required to digest those foods. So the rotation is very, very helpful, and it also starts to help illuminate some potential sensitivities and intolerances. So if you're food journaling and you're saying, listen, I had this for dinner and then I felt this the next day or right after, just make a note of that. And then you can look back over your food choices and see if there's some correlation there. So Paul Chek talked about how the cold exercises the vascular system and strengthens the smooth muscle. Well, it does to some degree, because when you're cold, it's constricting the blood vessels, right? So your body's going to try to keep itself warm, so it constricts the extremities, and all the blood comes into the core, right? To save the organs, the heart, all that important stuff. Your fingers, who cares, right? Frostbite, get rid of them. So that's what happens. But the benefit of doing things like cold heat is you have this constriction, right? So just imagine the muscles constricting, right? The muscle is like literally contracting, the smooth muscle, right? Which is different from skeletal muscle. Okay, so smooth muscle is what basically lines your organs and your blood vessels. And if you're constricting those, right, they're kind of working, right? So there's some benefit to that. But also when you're doing a hot cold, you're doing constriction, dilation. Constriction, dilation is very effective for flushing toxins out of the body, moving stuff more effectively. And that's why like cold tub, hot tub, stuff like that is very powerful as well. Aurora, is there a way of deep cleansing your colon? Even though I'm on a really clean diet, I don't feel like everything works fine in my body. Well, first of all, we have to identify, is the colon the issue in the first place, right? And if it is, you can maybe look at a colonoscopy. No, sorry, not a colonoscopy, but hydrocolon therapy, which again, make sure you're doing it with somebody who's very well versed in that field, because you don't want to be puncturing the colon. So that's one thing you could do. You could also look in doing a coffee enema. I've actually never done either of those, but I have some friends in our space who swear by them, so they can kind of maybe help purge some stuff out of the colon. But again, even if that happens, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to correct what might be going on in your body, right? So that might be one avenue to pursue, but there's so many other things that could be going on. So it's really tough to say that, yes, this for sure is the issue. But again, if you want to experiment, try things out, then you can do that as well. Otherwise, fiber, water, essential fatty acids are going to be very helpful for moving stuff through the digestive system. Just think about that water slide, right out. And so hopefully that helps you out. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I've got a jet. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to join me this lovely afternoon. And if I don't speak with you before Christmas, which is on Saturday, if you're celebrating Christmas, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. Enjoy it, right? Enjoy it with your friends and family. Just have a good time. Just feel good, right? Be present. Feel good about what you're doing. Don't feel any of the guilt and shame and all that stuff. And we'll make 2017 even more awesome. So I want to thank you guys for taking a couple moments out of your afternoon or evening or morning to be with me. Next Wednesday, we will be back. So 12:30 p.m. Eastern time right here for another Ask Yuri Live Hangouts. And I'll probably do some little, intermittent Hangouts or live feeds from my iPhone over the course of the next week. So check out for that. And in the meantime, remember to grab a copy of the new cookbook. alldayfatburningcookbook.com is the place to go. And then from there, you can go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and so forth to grab it. It's awesome. 125 recipes that are gourmet-like meals, take less than 20 minutes to make, to help you burn fat all day long. So that is all for me today. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and Merry Christmas.
Trouble losing weight? Need more energy? Want to improve your health? You got a fitness or nutrition question? I probably have an answer for you.